Hi, everybody. This is Nathan Aswell, and this is Small Steps, Big Life, a show in which I get to talk to fantastic, juicy people who are living big lives and talking about all the small steps they took to get to where they are now and where they're headed to. And today, I get to hang with my soul sister, Teri Wilder. I'm in San Diego. This is Teri's Hood, and we're going to speak about her journey. And we're also going to speak about the San Diego Conscious Music Festival, which is happening less than 48 hours from now. So,
gosh, that's right.
Yeah, it's coming up fast, isn't it, my dear?
Fast.
So Teri, like a lot of other people that I know, is a fantastic singer-songwriter. And what's the phrase you use, Teri?
Gongster.
A gongster.
I'm Teri Wilder. Love gongster.
Love gongster. Fantastic. Yeah. I love it. All right. Well, let's back up a little bit, my love. Let's talk about your journey. It's all about your creative process. So let's go back. Let's turn back time. Tell me about your creative process. When did that itch first need to get scratched?
Wow. Set the way back machine, Sherman. Yeah. Peabody Sherman. That's way back.
Mm-hmm.
And, wow. So, all right. I will start with an early memory. When I was in kindergarten, I was really, really shy. I'm actually a pretty shy person, as a lot of us who make a living in front of people maybe surprisingly are.
Mm.
I've learned to overcome that. But so in kindergarten, I showed up the first day. Actually, my dad dropped me off and saw me kind of walk up the steps of the school. And then he drove away thinking, okay, she's headed in. He had an inkling to go back and check on me and found me walking home. It was about a mile away.
Wow.
So that was how much I did not want to be around other people. I'm one of 9 children, so you would think I'd be okay, but this was outside of the home, so very, very shy. So there came a time in kindergarten when we were called upon, some of us, to do a presentation at an assembly for the whole school, which was K through 8. Mm-hmm. I was not chosen to sing at that assembly, and there was a knowing in there that made me feel hurt. I can remember feeling really disappointed and maybe even offended, almost as if, and in hindsight I say, almost as if I wanted to say, don't you know that that's where I'm supposed to be? But being so shy, I'm sure the teacher thought, well, no, she'll walk out there and burst into tears, so we're not going to go that route. But I did grow up learning how to sing and learning about harmonies because of older sisters who would teach the younger sisters the camp songs that they would sing. So they teach us the songs and the harmonies and singing in rounds. And I fell in love with it immediately, and I discovered just a pure passion for it. And then I did talent shows and joined a children's theater group and so on and so on. And I've just never stopped. I've always known. I've always known.
Beautiful. And when did you start writing your own songs?
I was probably a teenager. I was definitely a teenager. Mm-hmm. Nothing I would probably share with anybody. But I wrote poems. I played a little guitar back then. Mm-hmm. And wrote some songs, and then in my 20s, I would write a little bit with some bands that I was in, but I didn't start writing and recording until 2002. So that's 13 years ago. Mm-hmm. I recorded my first CD, and interestingly, I was on the air. I was working in radio then. I was in morning radio. And every Friday morning, we would do a bit that we called Friday Live on 95, Oldies 95. And I would sing, along with karaoke tracks, one of the oldies songs that we played on the station. So someone heard me one time and called me I sang Mustang Sally, and he liked the way I did it, and called me and made me an offer I couldn't refuse. And he offered to back my first CD.
Wow.
And put a lot of money and time and energy into it, Gary Kavanaugh. And so I decided that if I was going to record a CD, that I wanted it to be my own music, and that it was time for me to write again. So actually, I think this process may have started in 2000, and the CD eventually came out in 2002. But it was so joyful. I had amazing musicians at a remarkable studio with a phenomenal producer, Alex Cordero, and wow, I still am in love with that CD to this day.
What an incredible thing to be gifted with people to finance it and produce it and play on it. And
oh yeah, you know, that's a rare gift. And so for that to be my introduction into how to record a CD, I learned by watching what was unfolding around me.
Right. So the question I like to ask everybody is, and I think you've sort of answered half of it, is there's kind of a pivot point. There's something that happens that takes the process and kind of the energy in it shifts, changes. And so it sounds to me like you've already described half of it, and that is, you had written songs before, but there was something about this moment where you wanted to write your own songs, and more specifically, because I know you as being part of a tribe that we're both in, the Positive Music Tribe, and I've heard all your CDs and love them all, and I would say that that's when your foray into positive music began, yes?
Yes, because I realized as I was writing these songs that I didn't want anything to come out of my mouth that I wasn't really proud of and that didn't make me feel good.
Right.
I've sung it all over the years. I've sung a little bit of all kinds of music. And I was even in a band part-time. No, I was out of the band by that time. But doing gigs around town, still playing in some restaurants and some private parties and some casuals and those kinds of things. And I really got tired of singing about broken hearts and, you're a loser and I'm a loser and the whole world is, going bull. And I got really tired of that. I thought, if I'm going to put this much energy into something this invaluable to me, it's going to be positive energy and not somebody else's songs, but what I have to say. Yeah. And that's what I did.
So you created the first CD and
created the first CD and got it out there a little bit. Even got a little airplay on the radio in Kansas City.
Okay.
Because I worked at the radio station. But that was cool. So I got some interest going, and started singing these songs out a bit, and then radio let me go, which was really interesting. And actually, one of my songs is kind of a story, a follow-up story to that. Radio let me go. And I told my boss in that moment, I said, I think you've given me a gift. And he didn't understand what I meant. I don't think I understood what I meant at the time. But when he gave me the news, I felt this wave of relief go right through my gut. And so I knew something was going on. And of course, then I walked into my office with my box and filled it up and started crying. And that was all about, oh my God, but I have a mortgage to pay by myself. But I just bought a car a couple of years ago, and what do I do about that? But I had health insurance, and what about that? But what about the 2 weeks of vacation that I accrued? Is that going away? So all of that evolved into the butt song. Right. About getting rid of your butt, your B-U-T, and but I can't, but why, but how, but when, what, but what if, but. I want to get rid of my butt.
Yeah.
So it was a great gift in a lot of ways. I left the corporate world. I left regular income and was back to being fully self-employed. And I'm happy to say I paid off that car and stayed in that house another 6 years and managed with health insurance. And, you know, it all worked out. But that was another big turning point for me.
Yeah.
Of now, what do I do?
Mm-hmm.
So I called on some of our friends, Karen Drucker and Greg Tamblin, and picked people's brains who are already doing what I thought I might be wanting to do. And I decided what I wanted to do was continue singing in the spiritual environment,
mm-hmm.
write music for them, and travel. And so they gave me great information and guidance. And then I started writing regularly for a Unity Church of Overland Park with my buddy Fred Albers, and realized after a few months that I had another CD in the works, and that was my I Choose Joy CD, and just have continued on from there.
Just want to take a little pause for a sec, Teri. I want to welcome Megan Carroll for joining us. Hi, Megan. And just want to say that this is Small Steps, Big Life. My name is Nathan Aswell. I'm usually in Vancouver, Canada, but this week I'm in San Diego, and I'm speaking to people who will be part of the San Diego Conscious Music Festival happening this weekend. And my guest today is the immortal Teri Wilder.
I'm immortal, yay.
Hi, Karma Project. Welcome. Teri, what was I going to ask you? Oh, yeah. I know that everything plays its part in who you are now. And so you being in radio had played its part. I also know that you spent a significant amount of time being a voiceover artist.
Yes.
So talk a little bit about that. And what I'd also like to hear is from this vantage point, I'd like to hear you talk a little bit about how being in radio and how being a voice artist has served your creativity, has been a part of who you are now, has played its part.
Sure. Well, voiceover work showed up when I still lived in Chicago. I moved away from Chicago in 1994. That's where I'm from.
Mm-hmm.
And it was another way to make a living using my voice. I was already a singer and an actress, and so this seemed like another way that I could use my voice and my training and my abilities. And when I got to Kansas City, I just dove right in and joined the union and did a lot of wonderful work. That's always a creative adventure, doing work, because you have to be really in the moment, and no matter what you're given, you have to be feeling what you're talking about, which is creativity. You have to be using your imagination. How does this need to be delivered? To whom am I speaking? How am I not selling, but sharing? And so you have to get into a creative space, because you're talking into a microphone and there's nobody there, and you're reading something off the page, and now you have to bring it to life. So that requires a lot of creativity. And definitely in radio, we were doing something crazy fun every day. And you definitely had to call it up at a moment's notice. Helped sharpen my wit, I will say, and allowed me chances to use accents and characters and be silly, which I love.
Absolutely. Fantastic. Okay, so back to where we were a couple of minutes ago. It was Fred, right? Fred was the name of the fellow who helped co-create your second CD with you?
Oh, yeah. Well, he is the music director at Unity Church of Overland Park, Fred Allen. And
that's in Kansas City?
Kansas City, Overland Park near Kansas City.
Okay.
Because he gave me the space and the freedom, as well as Reverend Patricia Bass, who was the minister at the time, they both gave me the space to write a new song and trust that what I showed up with in the 2 weeks from when they told me what the topic was to that Sunday, what I was going to show up with was going to fit the topic, was going to be a good song, and so forth. And so they opened up those doors for me. And when you're committed and then you actually start to create, you build the confidence. And then suddenly you have a whole new path, a new product, and new babies, song.
In my talk, Small Steps, Big Life, I talk about that the help, asking for help, or that none of us got to where we are today without a number of people who supported us along the way, because none of us works in a vacuum. So it's wonderful to hear you talk about the people who played a role, both at the time, what seemed like a step backwards, getting fired, getting let go from your radio job, to being in this situation where people are supporting you and saying yes, to something that were you creating a new song every week with Fred?
Every month, once a month.
Okay.
Yeah. Still. And Fred would help me with the charts, and, I can hear it and figure out, I don't really play an instrument, but I know music theory, so I could figure out the chords on a keyboard or a guitar, and then go to Fred and say, here's what it sounds like more or less. And then he would give me, refinement on all of that, and then create charts, which is a big deal.
Yeah.
To be writing songs, and if you don't write music, creating a chart is a big deal. And I still use some of those charts today. Yeah. So he was just a huge help, and he co-wrote some of the songs with me.
Yeah. Amen, Fred. Okay. Yeah. So there we are in Kansas City. You go through this experience with Fred, and then what happened?
So I created 2 CDs in Kansas City. I created my 3rd CD, Magical Moment, there. And then I made a move. I moved to a place that was a dream of mine since I was a child. I moved to Santa Fe, New Mexico, and sold my house and got rid of 75% of what I owned, and made this move, and lived in Santa Fe for 2 years. I would love to say that it was the blissful, fruitful 2-year period that I was hoping it would be. It was different, but it was blissful and fruitful, just in different ways. It was challenging. I thought, well, I'm centrally located, and I can travel from here and do this and this, and plenty of work there. Well, there wasn't plenty of work there for me.
Right.
There was a little bit of music. There were churches, a couple churches in Santa Fe, a few in Albuquerque, and so continued that. Did a little more songwriting while I was there. Very little voiceover work. I had to travel to Albuquerque to do any of that, and I could count, it's this many sessions in 2 years, and I used to do that in a couple months. So really changed. So I refer to it as my 2-year excavation process.
John is asking, what 2 years were you there?
Oh, what 2 years? I was there from 2009 to 2011. Yeah. And I still love Santa Fe, and I got to drive up to Taos, New Mexico when I wanted, which is big heart for me, big heart opening. I can't read, by the way, Nathan, when anybody's typing.
Yeah, John just said that he was curious because he left just at the end of 2009.
Oh.
So you almost met each other.
So we meet here, John. Yeah. That's cool.
You were meant to meet a little later on the path.
Yeah.
So what was your picture of Santa Fe? What was the invitation? What called you there? What did you hope was going to happen there?
Well, part of the draw is the Native American energy there. I've always felt a part of that. I've always been drawn to it. I feel it's a part of who I am. And that was a huge draw for me. Hard to say that hard to explain why I thought that would sustain me, but it kind of did in a way. Although the financial piece and the career piece wasn't there, There was so much there for my soul.
Mm-hmm.
So I went out to the desert to dry out a little bit, the high desert, and I wouldn't trade a minute of it. Wouldn't trade a minute of it.
Well, I'm really glad that you said that, because it's going to come in. It's a, I tell people that, every step, whether it's sideways, backwards, forwards, especially the ones that take us sideways or backwards in directions we didn't expect, in the long term turn out to be real gifts, because they take us somewhere in a deeper way than just moving in a linear way would have done. So I'm going to come back to that when we get into the identity that you're now playing in, because I see a really nice tie-in there.
Great.
I don't want to give it away just yet. So okay, so you're in Santa Fe for 2 years, and then
okay, well, I'm going to backtrack a little bit.
Sure.
So probably about 8 years ago, 7 or 8 years ago, I came to San Diego. It was my first time in California. And I was flying here to take part in a spiritual weekend with some people. And on the plane, I had a window seat, which was nice. And we're flying into San Diego airport. You fly and you see the bay, the harbor, the water, and wow, look out the window. Wow, I'm here. I made it to California. There's the Pacific Ocean, and this is beautiful. Wow. And I'm looking out the window to my left, and in my right ear, I hear the voice say, "Welcome home." And it was just as if someone next to me had said that. And I actually did turn, and of course the person next to me was not speaking to me. It was the voice. So I never forgot that. June in 2011, I was driving home from a church gig in Albuquerque. You get about 10 miles outside of Santa Fe, and you come over this rise, and you see the Sangre de Cristo Mountains on the horizon, and you see the city of Santa Fe come into view. So I would always greet the mountains and say, "Hello, beautiful ones." And I mean, I love the Sangre de Cristo Mountains. This time, they spoke to me in the voice, and they said, "We're releasing you." And wow. I heard it as plain as day, and I felt it, and it was one of those, "Yay, what? What do I do with that?" So like, oh, good. Oh, no. Oh, good. And so this is a really short version of this story, but I knew it was time for me to go. And so I went back to welcome home. I figured the voice is guiding me. I'm going to pay attention to the voice. And I knew 3 or 4 people in San Diego. And decided, okay, I guess I'm going a little further southwest, but almost as far southwest in the States as you can go. And, I went from the desert to the ocean, in which I think is a beautiful metaphor, because it's really felt like home. It's really felt like the water has nurtured me into a new life. Yeah.
Beautiful. So you are welcomed home by San Diego. You feel the energy, and a new door opens.
Well, yes, it did, and it took a couple years. It took it took about a year. I live in San Diego, and still driving around to gigs and traveling a bit with my music. And I went to Phoenix to do a concert with a friend of mine from Kansas City who teaches tapping, EFT.
Right.
And Garland Landreth. And he said, "Let's do a concert. I'm going to teach people tapping. We're going to use your music as the positive affirmations that you tap the energy into." And so, great. So we meet up in Phoenix, and I show up, and we're in this beautiful Unity in Phoenix, huge church. And this woman is setting up these things on stage. And I'm trying to figure out what they have to do with feeling good and bringing bliss, because she has two big gongs. And looking at him going, the gong show, huh? Tell me more.
Mm-hmm.
The first strike of those gongs just blew my heart literally wide open. Just, I could feel it. I could hear it. I became it. I wept. I laughed. It changed my life. So I talked to her afterwards, Barbara Cole, said, tell me everything about this. And she gave me a couple of her CDs and said, if you ever want to know more, call me. But she lived in Phoenix. So I go back to San Diego, and I'm looking all over, trying to find somebody to tell me about gongs and teach me how to play them and where do I buy them. And I found out where to buy them from our friend Peggy Lebo. Turned me on to Gongs Unlimited, which is an online site where you can order them. So now I have that, but what do I order and what do I do when I get it? I don't know. About 6 months later, my former roommate and our dear friend Dave Avani came home, and she said, well, Teri, I was in the ladies' room at church today, and I mentioned your name in the ladies' room, and this woman came running out of the stall saying, Teri Wilder, I know her. Give her my card. Tell her the gong lady is here. Barbara Cole, who played gongs in Phoenix, had moved to San Diego. So she had just gotten here, and she said she'd moved here to be with some guy, and I told her she moved here to teach me how to play the gong.
Let's get the story straight.
Let's be clear about this. I had put so much energy into creating everything that I possibly could to make this happen. I know I called her here. So that's my story. So within a month, I had taken my lessons with her, and I had purchased my first gong. And a year later, I purchased my second gong. And somewhere in there, I started taking over some of her gigs when she, filling in for her. And then she moved to Hawaii. And I took over some of her gigs, and I started creating my own. And it's changed my life. It's just absolutely changed my life.
Say more about that.
Okay. So the gongs are really powerful instruments in that when they are vibrating, when they are making their sounds, pure, incredible harmonics and overtones, shower and bathe your body with vibrations. And people's experiences are that the vibrations are working to such a degree to bring you into resonance that what they do is they don't allow your lower vibrations, anything in your body or being that's a lower vibration, they do what's called entrainment. Lower vibrations cannot live in the presence of a higher vibration and sustain themselves low. So your body, your thoughts, physical pains, just negative energies around you start to come into resonance with what their true frequency is. Brings you into balance, it de-stresses you, it inspires creativity, helps you feel better, helps you sleep better. And I've had increased tenfold synchronicities happen in my life. They're just constant. They're just all the time now. I expect all these out of the blue things to just show up in my life. Had amazing results with people having physical experiences where they're getting relief from chronic pains that they've had for years.
Wow.
The list just goes on and on. Visions, trips off the planet, out of their bodies. It's remarkable.
So the question I want to ask you is, I get that. I completely get all that. And is it possible for you, as you are creating the sound, as you were, because I know there's so many things you can do with a gong, as you're about to demonstrate, I'm happy to say. Are you able to receive this? How do I want to phrase this question? Are you able to be in both roles? Are you able to be the generator of the sound and the receiver of the sound? Do you have enough attention to receive as you are creating it?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Wow. I can't not receive. I mean, I'm inches away from it. I'm facilitating the sound with a mallet. So every time I strike the gong, those vibrations are physically going all through my body, not to mention they're entering all of my being, partly because of proximity, partly because that's just what they do. You can't be in a room with a gong being played and not be affected, because that's what sound does. It affects everything. So not just the gong, but whatever would be in the room with you. A mosquito, sound affects us. Yeah, I've almost left my body once, but the fact that I'm physically involved probably deters that from happening. But I've had visions. I have burst out into tears. I've heard voices and messages for people intuitively and almost kind of audibly. And these synchronicities that show up in my life all the time are the result of me much more often being in this place of higher vibration. So I can't figure out yet if it's just I'm more aware of them, or I'm in a resonant field that is allowing for them, but I don't really care about the explanation. I just know it's happening and I love it.
Yeah. Okay, my love, we have to hear you play.
Okay.
I know. As for those of you who don't know this, before we started the recording today, Teri said that she has a gong on the opposite side of the room. So she's spinning her laptop around right now, and she's going to give us a little taste. Now, how many gongs do you have there, Teri? 2?
I have 2.
Okay.
Top one is a symphonic gong.
Okay.
And that's the gong that's played with the symphony orchestra. And that's the one with all the huge harmonics and overtones. It's a 30-inch. And the bottom one, you can see her down there, is a Venus gong, tuned to the frequency of the orbit of the planet Venus around the sun. A lot of groovy science to it.
How do they figure that stuff out? Boy, I'd love to know that.
Scientists figured out all of that, 50 some years ago. And what's been magnificent is how these artisans who create the gongs know how to do that by hammering this big metal plate, fire and hammers with all their strength into this tuning. It's a craft that takes many, many years to perfect.
Teri, someone named Karma Project Co. has written, Teri, can you repeat that bit about Venus? So can you just repeat what you said about Venus, the energy of Venus in the small gong?
Yes. So it is tuned to the frequency of the orbit of the planet Venus around the sun. So everything is vibration. So everything has a frequency, sound waves. We have sound waves going on. It's not necessarily audible to the human ear, but there is a frequency happening because everything is vibration. So this particular scientist, whose name I can't recall right now, has figured out what those frequencies are for all the planets and the moon, and other people have figured out even further frequencies. So that it's a planetary gong, or a planet gong.
Amazing.
It is amazing. It's constantly blowing my mind. Yeah.
Okay. My ears are hungry. My heart is too. I don't know how much of this I can well appreciate, that you being in the same room as the gongs will feel the full frequency of what you're creating much more than we will in our, through our little computer speakers or through our earbuds or what have you.
Translate, but
yeah, and I trust we'll still feel something. So
that's the whole thing. So feel free, everybody, to go ahead and set an intention for what you'd like to receive from these vibrations as well, because that may come through also. And I usually turn them around to face the other way, but I'm just going to leave them like this for now. It'll all happen perfectly. So. So saith the gongs.
So saith the gongs.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Teri. For those of you who are joining us a little late, Gerard, this is Small Steps, Big Life, in which we talk about all the small steps that people take to get to the big lives they're living now. And so Teri has been sharing her creative journey with us, which is now very much about being a gongster, as she just demonstrated so ably. You know, Teri, what I love about that is I can think of, my naive thoughts when I first saw someone hit a gong. I thought, you hit the gong, boom, that's it, one sound. And as you demonstrated, I mean, there's a whole universe of sounds you can create. And one of the people watching Karma Project Co. asked if you're using different mallets. Can you just talk about the different tools you use to create the sounds?
You bet. I use a few different mallets. One of them specifically, the M5, which stands for mallet number 5. That's size of the mallet and the size of the gong are coordinated. So the 5 mallet goes with the 30-inch symphonic gong. I'm also using a Mike Balter mallet, which should I get them and do show and tell?
If you want, sure.
Okay, hold that thought.
Okay.
Okay. I'll bring my little. Okay, so this is the M5, and it's pretty substantial. There's some good weight to that. This is the Mike Balter mallet. You can see there. It looks like it has a hockey puck in there, and that part is really hard and then covered with all this yarn to soften the strike. You don't want to hear a strike on a little muffled sound. This is an interesting one. This originally was used for playing Tibetan bowls, and there's actually red fabric under there, and I covered it with this wool for a little extra padding so you get less hard sound. Yes, I sewed it on there with my own little hands. Yes. This is a drummer's brush. The jazzers use this a lot. And so this you just sweep across, and it has this effective angel wings or something. I love this. And these are flumies. And flumi is German for rubber ball. And guess what they are? Rubber balls on sticks. So the smaller the ball, the higher the pitch. You heard those kind of whale sounds.
Yeah.
Drag it across the gong. And, depending on where you drag it, you get different sounds. And it's always different. And this is the E wand. Let's see, which way do I hold it? There you go. So you can see the E. And this you drag across this part of the wand on the gong, and it creates a pitch. And this is a friction mallet. And if you can see closely, it's texturized. So it's like a big super ball with texture on it. And this gets those really deep, low sounds that I just love. Melts me.
Yeah, me too.
Those are my mallets.
Wow, amazing. And I was thinking about this. There's a fellow in Vancouver who's a piano player, and he will do healing sessions with people. So he will get them to talk about, whatever's up, whatever they would like to address, what their intention is. And then he gets them to lie down under the piano.
Oh, yeah. Yes.
And he creates music for them so that they can just receive the vibrations of what he's playing. And when you were playing very early on in your playing, I could feel my heart chakra feeling the impact of what you were doing. And I just wished so much that I could either be in the room standing with my arms open wide or be lying down underneath the gong. So have you played with that in terms of where people are in proximity? Do you give them the choice? Or how do you structure that?
I'm so glad you brought this up, because just recently, I actually, on my stand, I have holes drilled into the back where you put the stand together with these wing nuts, and it doesn't normally have holes, but I wanted it to be really, really secure. So I have them drilled where they are right now, and then about this far above, so that I can actually put it up and have somebody lie underneath and have it be real secure. And you know what? I haven't done that with somebody yet,
Oh man,
Love to do it. Yeah.
I so want to experience that.
Well,
Oh,
you're in San Diego, so come on down.
because like you, I mean, for me, the low frequencies. I mean, there's no secret as to why I play instruments with a lot of low end. I just love those frequencies. So to be underneath your gong, poof, I can only imagine. That would be,
There's a pickup line.
yeah. Hi, could I be under your gong? Yeah.
Oh, yeah, baby.
I heard the funniest line in a bar in San Diego last night. So do you do, I'm sure you do, I think we've talked about this before, you do healing sessions one-on-one as well as
I do private, I do semi-private, so I've gonged couples before, which is really powerful. That's a beautiful way to bring two people together into a nice cohesive vibration. And I do groups. I'm moving into the corporate world with it, with my Gong to Lunch program.
Love it. Gong to lunch.
Gong to lunch, yeah. Gong to lunch, yeah.
Wow.
And hospitals and hospice. And I've been working with the American Holistic Nurses Association, have some stuff planned ahead with the Academy of Integrative Health and Medicine. And I'm doing a presentation at the Moores Cancer Center this Sunday.
Wow.
So it's all opening up, and definitely this is a part of wellness for everybody.
Now I know that there's even more. You've widened this out even more. We've spoken about this before. You went to, was it San Francisco to get certification as?
Yes, I am now officially a certified sound healer.
Yeah.
So I studied intensive. I did two-week intensives where we were in classes, and a variety of classes from 10 a.m. to 9:30 p.m. every day, with one day off in that 2-week period, both times. And so you are really diving into this environment completely. I mean, feet first, head first. You're just in it. And in fact, most of us lived at the school. So we were literally in this building surrounded by these incredible sound healing instruments, from crystal bowls to didgeridoos to, bells and Tibetan bowls and gongs and everything you can imagine, shakers and drums and keyboards and sound beds. Oh my God. To lie on a bed, a massage bed with speakers underneath, headphones on, but they have whatever's playing wired up, so all those bottom notes that you love and I love the bed.
Wow.
You are swimming in it. And then they give you a pillow you could put on top of you, and it's through the pillow too. It's insane.
Oh God.
The field is opening up so much, and I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful to be a part of it.
Yeah. So where are you going, love? What's next? Because this is all about expansion. It's all about expansion for all of us. So where do you want to go?
Whew. I want to go around the world with this. I would love to just travel the world. I've flown on planes with my gongs. It's not easy, but it's worth it when you get there. Yeah, and do big symposiums and play with other gongsters. That's something else I get to do. Is I'm part of a couple of different communities here in San Diego, who play all kinds of healing instruments and do big events. My friend Deep Dioja does some events up at the North County and in Encinitas, a room full of 60 to 70, 75 people receiving sound healings from Tibetan bowls and didgeridoos and crystal bowls and gongs, and he's in the middle directing all of us. And so, ultimately I want, and this is just a start, I want 12 gongs and my own sound healing room with crystal bowls, Tibetan bowls. I want to learn how to play the didgeridoo. I want to learn circular breathing. I want to be a full-fledged, at your service sound healer.
Amen.
Yeah.
I, along with everyone who's watching, I'm sure will help you hold that vision, because it's can feel your excitement and your passion, and it was wonderful to just get that little taste, even through my little earbuds. I was feeling it.
And the thing is, and I don't want to miss out on using my voice for the sound healing as well. So whatever that means, I've fallen in love with toning.
Mm-hmm.
Just no words, just the tones.
Yeah.
Purity of that, without that, again, that left brain getting involved, going, well, what does that mean? Or, oh, I guess I should be thinking about that, or going that. Just the pure tones is, so I'm playing with figuring out how to incorporate that with the gongs and determining, are they separate together? What? I don't know yet. It's not clear from me, but everything's possible.
Yep, absolutely. So let's take a minute and talk about this weekend. San Diego Conscious Music Festival. You are the MC.
Yeah.
You will be performing a couple of your songs.
I will.
Are people going to get a chance to experience this side of you?
Which side of me?
Are they going to get to see you in gongster mode? Will they get to see your sound healing self?
No.
Okay.
But there, all those opportunities are on my website. So I have a calendar on my website there. I do lots of local events, and that's expanding as well. You can also order my CD, my Mystical Gong Meditation CD, on my website, which I recorded with Barbara Cole, my teacher, and another person. 3 of us have 6 gongs. So I won't be gonging Saturday night. But
but let's make sure that people can reach you. Your website is
TeriWilder.com.
Okay, so just your TERI.
Yeah, 1 R in Teri, and Wilder, like it sounds, TeriWilder.com.
Okay.
Email me, Teri@TeriWilder.com.
Okay. And basically you are San Diego based, and you are interested in traveling. This is your calling. You're interested in traveling more and more, having a wider and wider circle of influence with this gift.
Yeah, I call it, when I travel, I call it my Songs and Gongs tours.
Do you want to say it again?
Songs and Gongs tours.
Beautiful. Songs and Gongs. Love it. Great.
Yeah. So Saturday, we want to get back to Saturday. So the San Diego Conscious Music Fest. I'd love for everybody to come. This is, oh my gosh, the heart child of our friend Dave Avani and her friend Annette Ridenauer. And together they have created this extraordinary event. This is the second one. And you and I have both done both of them now.
Yeah.
And bringing together, oh my gosh, this whole community of people and musicians and artisans. And we have a community choir that's being led by our friend Janet Hammer. And we did a Young Voices songwriting contest. So the 3 winners, who are all amazing, will be performing in the 5 o'clock concert with the community choir, and Carl Anthony will open that set. And concert with 9 big artists, our contemporaries, at the evening show at 7 o'clock.
Yep.
So they can get tickets to that. You can get tickets to that at consciousmusicsd.com.
Yeah. So I will include the link for both your website and for the Conscious Music Fest in the replay that I will have online within an hour of this being completed. So
it's going to be a powerful night.
Oh yeah, I can't wait. It'll be great. We've already had 1 rehearsal, and that was on Tuesday. We have another rehearsal tomorrow, Friday, and then the big shoe on Saturday. So yeah.
Anybody under 30 doesn't know what that means. But...
Oh well.
That's right.
Oh well. So shall we open it up to see if anybody would like to ask you questions, or just say a few things? Do you know somebody named Drake Taylor, Teri?
I don't know, Drake. Do I know you? But but hi.
Well, let's invite Drake in. Drake is wanting to come in, so let's just see what Drake has to say. Are you there, Drake?
Drake, ladies and gentlemen, the one, the only.
Can do this but her.
This is not the girl you described.
Please hold.
Please, yeah. You were the voice of AT&T. Right?
No.
Oh, Sprint. I'm sorry.
Original voicemail voice on Sprint phones. So I'm the one who says, to leave a voice message, press 1. Thank you for calling Sprint. You have 1 new message.
And how long did they use that? Are they still using it?
Oh yeah, I'm still on there. Yeah.
Wow. The gift that keeps on giving.
Yes. Well,
right.
I don't really get anything from it anymore, but my voice is even.
Yep. Anne, Pogue, you want to come on in? Anybody else? Does anybody else have a question they would like to ask Teri or a comment they'd like to make? Here comes Anne. There's Anne.
Hi, Anne. Hi. I have to say, Anne is our biggest fan, and Anne, as a fan, has her own fan club, and that's all of us. We're all Anne fans, so
yeah, we're all Anne fans, absolutely.
That's right. Mwah, I love it.
Yep. Podcasting from my iPhone, and Teri's on my iPhone.
Oh, I'm on your
I love it.
Wow, I'm honored.
I love it.
How are you, honey?
Yeah.
And Drake is still. Drake's wheel is turning.
Yeah. Sorry, Jake. I don't know what's going on. Maybe you need to restart. We had some technical issues at the beginning of the show. Maybe you're going through some of them yourself, Drake. I'm going to close your circle and see if you can
try again.
See if you can try again. See if it'll work better the next time. Teri, what else do you want to say? What else do we need to share with people in this hour? Anne, what would you like to say?
Anne, any questions, comments?
I just wish I was in San Diego right now.
Yeah.
I'm in California anyway.
Well, you know what? You are.
Well, that's true. But no, I love you both, and just thank you for everything that you both bring to the world. It's truly a gift, and I'm truly honored to call you both my friends. So.
And we're happy to have you along for every step of the ride, sweetheart.
Have fun this weekend.
You have made so many of our events so special with your presence. Yeah.
I'm honored. Just give each other a hug from me.
On the phone or whatever. We just love you.
I love you guys too.
Okay. Thanks, love.
Bye.
Bye. Wow. Oh, it's always great to see her.
Yeah. Beautiful.
So,
beautiful. Yeah. Okay.
Seems to me this is the West End Drake, the age of shamanism in a way. Yes. Do you know who that is, Teri? Karma Project Co?
Sure, I do know, but Megan.
Megan.
Which Megan? I know.
She mentioned her name earlier. Let's see. Megan.
I'm the only outsider here, I think. Oh, no, you're totally inside. Just because we don't actually know you doesn't mean you're outside.
Yeah, I don't know what that means.
The West
Megan.
is finally catching up with the East. Now I have to read it. You click my name and you'll see my profile. All right, great. That's really true, Megan. And I have a belief that this is partly, like bringing the Dalai Lama into it. I think this is partly why, and I almost hate to say this, but why the Dalai Lama had to leave Tibet to be with us and start teaching us these ways of the heart. And we don't really call him a shaman, but I believe he is. I believe he's a spiritual energy that just has brought so much light to us and has taught us so much that the West hadn't considered before. Open their hearts in whole new ways, and lots of these Indian gurus coming to America and teaching us. And it was someone from India who came and brought the gongs to America. And then Don Conroe has been really instrumental in introducing people to not just the gongs, but the yoga around the gongs, and which is not poses and such, but it's an energy and a philosophy. And so, yes, we are finally, as the youngsters in the world, we Westerners, catching up with the shamans' ways. And boy, I feel lucky to be along for the ride.
Yeah. And as you're saying that, Teri, I'm thinking about, I wanted to come back to that piece that we spoke about earlier about the influence of Native American mythology and sound on you and the Cult of Santa Fe. And I was just laughing to myself thinking that the image was, you heard that voice, but there was a voice in San Diego going, no, over here, over here. It's great over there, but it's even louder over here.
Other Southwest, yes. Because just the term Southwest always spoke to me. So now the joke is I've come as far Southwest as I can get. But yeah, and Megan had just mentioned she was in India and met a Canadian crystal farmer. Yeah, we're all over the world. We are just bopping around here and there, and made his own crystal bowls. Wow, yeah, it is all merging. It's all merging, and we're seeing it in even big businesses being called to the carpet now, and the grassroots people, companies, organizations rising up and saying, whoa, that's not the way. There's an earthier way that's in here, that's not out there. It's coming from the inside, from the soul, from the caring, from the love. Yeah.
It's really wonderful to see what was initially, out on the fringes is becoming more and more the mainstream as the consciousness rises for all of us. It's just fun to see how that's showing up everywhere.
That's what makes this music festival so exciting. We are taking over the stage.
Yeah. Thank you, Megan. Looks like you're on your way out. We're about to wrap up, but thank you very much for popping in. And I hope that you join me for future shows. Cool. Do you feel complete, my love?
What's that?
Do you feel complete? Was there anything else you wanted to share?
Anyone in San Diego who, or out on the road, who knows of some corporation with a good employee wellness program that's open to something a little bit different and most effective, I really want to come in and help people feel better. There again, from the inside out, because often in the corporate environment, it's very, very stressful. We don't have to live like that. It's hard to get your job done, and hard to even go into a job that feels like that. But I would love to come in and support people and help change these companies.
And so it is, and so you will, and so you are.
Yes. Yeah. Amen. Thank you, Nathan.
Thank you, my soul sister.
Yeah.
Yeah. We have been, but this week it's my great pleasure to be in San Diego for the Conscious Music Festival, which is happening on Saturday. And my guest today has been Teri Wilder, singer-songwriter and gongster, love gongster, who will be the MC this weekend and is now is a certified sound healer and is interested in expanding her mission, her ministry. I'll even stick my neck out and use that word. I use that to describe myself, and I think it's very fitting for you too,
yes,
Teri. So people who would like to get in touch with Teri and work with her, I will include her website on the rebroadcast of this. It's teriwilder.com, TeriWilder.com. And the San Diego Conscious Music Fest website, Teri, can you say that again?
ConsciousMusicSD.com.
Right. So the replay of this conversation will be online within the hour. I will have it on my site, nathanaswell.com, as well as on my YouTube channel under Small Steps, Big Life. So thank you all very much for joining us. It's been an absolute delight being with my pal, my soul sister. And I look forward to making music with you again tomorrow, my dear, and on Saturday too. We're going to rock it. We're going to rock the house.
Yes.
Yeah.
Love you. Thank you.
Love me too. Peace and blessings, everyone. See you again soon. Bye.
Bye.